Hello. I am Keishan, your human resource. I help people see the possibilities in what they think is impossible. I am disrupting HR, disrupting leadership, and I hope that what I'm going to share today will disrupt you into 2024. What are we talking about today? Asset or liability? Which one are you? Are you an asset to your organization? Are you a liability to your organization? Are you an asset to yourself? Are you a liability to yourself? People oftentimes, and I have been guilty, whenever I share, I am speaking from experience. I have been guilty of thinking it was everybody else's fault, but mine, the way that my life was going. I blamed people, I blame situations. I did not take ownership of things that were happening to me, whether it was in the workplace or professionally. And that's why I wanted to begin to wrap up the year and talk about assets or liabilities. Now, of course, we know about the balance statement or the income statement where you have assets, you have liabilities, and of course, you always want your assets to outweigh your liabilities. As it is with us in the professional world, we want to make sure that we are an asset to ourselves and the organizations that we are connected to and not a liability. So let's get into it. If you can raise your hand and say, yeah, my boss treated me this way and everybody was treating me this way, or they ignored me. And sometimes that is the case because I have been ignored in organizations. In situations where you are ignored or you are not valued, in their mind, you may be a liability. Even if you bring to the table good information, you bring great ideas. If you are not valued, then you are considered a liability. And there could be a number of reasons why. Maybe you just don't have all of the skills that measure up to what they're looking for, or maybe you disrupt too much, you say too much, and people don't know how to read you. I've been guilty of that, being very vocal about things. That's why I call myself a disruptor of HR and leadership. However, if you're in an organization and you want to stay in that organization, that's when you have to figure out what do you need to add to your toolbox so then you become an asset and not a liability. If you are in a relationship, and I'll talk about relationships briefly because relationships could be relationships with a significant other, or it can be a relationship with family members, our children, relationships with our coworkers. In relationships, are you the type of person who build people up or tear people down? Most people, I'll speak for myself, want to be built up. They don't want to be pulled apart and everything is nitpicked to shreds. You have to have a balance, though. Are you able to give constructive feedback while building up? And I think it's called the sandwich method, where you build up, give feedback, and build up. So positive, constructive, positive. That's how you're supposed to deliver criticism or deliver a critique or deliver a method or way to improve. Nobody wants to be looked at or looked down at. Some people, I don't know, maybe you thrive off of that. Let somebody tell me something. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do whatever. And it is what it is. That's okay if that is you. And if that is you and you've been successful in that vein, I would love to hear what you did in order to just come at people and be successful. Because again, human nature is not to want to be torn down. Human nature wants to be built up. So, as you self reflect and assess where you are, what you've done, what you've contributed to your organization, or what you've done to improve your skills and abilities, then you are ready to move into 2022. The end of the year, December, is always the time where you reflect on what's happening. How do I want to go into the new year? What do I want to do to make sure that I enter the new year on a positive note, or enter with more skills, or enter in a place where I'm ready to make that next leap in my career or entrepreneurial endeavor? Again, are you an asset or a liability? Self-reflect. And I've seen where, and I think of I think of the movie Why Did I Get Married Too, where Janet Jackson's character, she actually was talking to the ladies, and she said, this is, on one side you put down all the positive things that your husband does, and on the opposite side of the paper, then you list the items where he needs improvement, or the negative side. So I will actually ask you to do the same thing. It is a method. It is a way of seeing gaps, and that's what I would recommend. So what are the positive things that you bring to an organization or to a relationship? And be honest with yourself. What are some of the behaviors that are not so positive and make people cringe? Think about it. Take note of when people walk away or when there's an argument, so that you can truly assess. And I would actually recommend, because this is one of the tools that I've used when I was teaching as an adjunct professor. When you begin to make the assessment, don't do it alone. Ask for feedback. Now, in the workplace, I would not recommend that, because you want to maintain that relationship, especially if you desire to stay in the workplace at that organization. But at home, I recommend that you take some time to ask for feedback. Ask, what are you doing well? Where are areas you can improve? And then take it to heart and work on closing the gap and improving those. And if you can do it at home, it'll be easy for you to transition and do the same thing in the workplace or in the entrepreneurial field. That is all that I have to share. Today is the middle of the week, so I wanted to give a midday, middle of the week, just words of encouragement. So I hope this helped. Again, think about it. Are you an asset or a liability? Which one are you? And if your liabilities outweigh your assets, then let's try to tip the scale in the opposite direction. Okay, that's all I have for you. Again, my name is Keishan. I am your human resource. I help people see the possibilities of what they think is impossible. I am disrupting HR, disrupting leadership, and I hope that this disrupted you. Tomorrow, I'll be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'll be talking about some of the books that I have read this year, and some of the books that I'll be reading for the upcoming year to prepare for success. All right, that is all that I have. Again, take care. God bless. Until next time.